literally.
You'd thought we'd be used to it by now. Right, we going? Cool. Comfy?
Comfy.
Are you comfy?
I'm great, mate. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Just
That threw me off because Josh just started
Yeah,
taking a
literally.
photo.
I'm always
I was
like anxious
what?
around him, mate, yeah.
Yeah. After his previous fuck up, we almost feel like we have to keep an eye on him.
You need to get one of them actual snappers.
Yeah. Oh, fucking spill stick. Right. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Average Joe's podcast, episode number 9. We're nearly at the end of season 1.
Finally.
Finally, like it's been hard work.
Yeah, it has. We've only done 10 episodes. No fucking Joe Rogans, are we?
Yeah, no, it's been good. But we have our last guest of the season on today, Alex.
Hi guys,
Welcome to the podcast.
happy to be here.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on. As you can see, Alex has just taken me from a 3 to a 5.
3 to a 3.5.
Yeah, but
I'm a barber, mate. I'm not a magician.
Yeah.
a solid 3.5, bordering 4 now with this new trim. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome, mate.
I mean, we'll stick some B-roll in anyway of that. And shout out to Ozzy for letting us use his lovely barbershop.
Big up Ozzy. I know he's watching somewhere on the CCTV.
Yeah, he's probably watching us up there.
Yeah.
But so shout out to Sinners Barbers in Raynham and Gillingham as well. This is his new barbershop over in Raynham. I say it's new. It's been here for a year now, isn't it?
Yeah, August last year this opened. So yeah, we're pushing on the first birthday.
Yeah.
Very soon.
He's done a
It's flown by.
great job of this one. So again, you'll see the footage in the B-roll. But yeah, thank you, Ozzy, for that. But let's get into some stuff about you, Alex.
Let's get it.
Let's
get it.
into you. So, life before barbering, what did that look like for you?
Pretty fucking dull, if I'm honest.
Really?
Yeah. Like I found barbering very late in my life. I didn't get into barbering until I was 25. I was in a dead end job since I was about 18, just like in a factory, like loading up lorries. And where I'd been there from the age of 18 to 25, you just get comfy and you kind of get stuck in your ways, don't you? And at the age of 18, a solid sort of paycheck each week, it's good. Like you're like, oh, money's coming in, life's not too bad. As you get older, you realise, actually, this job is shit. It's long hours, physical hours. The people I work with are just twats. And it's just, there was no real way of progressing. And if you did progress, it wasn't actually worthwhile, like especially like the pay rises and that. So, and I'd got to the end of my tether with it. I didn't like the people I worked with. I hated the job. It was long hours. It was like 6 a.m. till 5:30.
Fucking hell.
Loading up lorries with like beds and shit like that. So carrying it on one arm. Yeah, very physically tiring. And then, like you said, didn't really like the people I worked with. So that was just mentally draining as well. And then, it wasn't until, like I said, key parts happen in my life where you get a bit of a kick up the backside, really.
Yeah, you say, obviously, while you was cutting my hair, you said that your mum was a big influence in you getting into barbering.
Yeah, she is. She's been a big influence in my life in general. Like, she's always been my number one support, and same both of my parents. They've supported me through everything. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't until, like I said, everything that happened with Moles that I needed that kick up the arse where I was going to work depressed. I hated my job. Like, you just get stuck in your ways. And it wasn't until she sat me down and was like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? I was like, I don't know, Mum. Like, I'm stuck in that rut. You know, like when you're at school and your teacher's like, what do you want to do? You ain't got a fucking clue, have you?
Nah, yeah.
No one at that age. I
No
mean,
one knows
When
that,
I was at school, mate, at primary school, I wanted to be an ice cream man when I grew up. Can you imagine if I'd have stuck to that now? Jesus
I'd have preferred coming to see you then.
Yeah. But, yeah, man. It was just like I needed that push because I wasn't going to do it on my own. Sometimes you need someone just to get you over the edge.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
She said, "What interests you? Like, if you don't know what you want to do, what interests you?" And I said, "Do you know what? I find myself watching videos on like YouTube or like Instagram of people with loads of hair." And they get cut down short to something like 70 yours. And I liked that. I found that quite therapeutic to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was like, why don't you look into learning it?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, fair. Not a bad shout, not a bad shout. So did a bit of research, found a night course. So I'd work full time still and then do a night course in London at London School of Barbering. Did that 2 nights a week, Mondays and Tuesday evenings for about a year.
Yeah.
So
while still working
6 a.m. 6 a.m. till 4:30, getting the 5 o'clock train to London, starting my class at 6, finishing at 9, and then getting the train back at 10. 2 nights a week, and then
you actually touched it, bro.
Yeah, I know.
and then so doing that 2 nights a week, and then holding down a full-time job was just fucking exhausting. And then whilst I was learning, I was the apprentice on a Saturday at Sinners.
Yeah.
So I essentially worked 6 days a week for a year.
And like all day.
All fucking
And
day.
where in that as well was DJing part of that as well. Like.
Yeah. I didn't even touch on DJing as
Yeah.
well. So that was more of a weekend sort of thing. That started as a hobby that then progressed into something that was more not permanent but very regular. The hobby became very regular. So it was good because it was like you got a bit of money from it. You'd get free entry to the night. You'd have free entry for your mates, free drinks. Basically, got paid to party, which any youngster you're not going to turn down.
Yeah.
And the 6 days a week, and then doing that Fridays or Saturdays, most weekends as well. So that year for me aged me.
Yeah,
that's what I look nearly 40 from that. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where small sacrifices, big rewards.
Yeah.
Put in the graft, and then you reap the benefits.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and obviously now you can say that it's the best.
Oh mate, it was the best decision I ever made. I wish I'd done it sooner.
Yeah.
I wish I'd done it sooner, but everything happens for a reason at the right time. So I count my blessings, and
And
best decision I made.
Sinners was always the place you wanted to end up.
I mean, I knew Jimmy anyway. Big
What
up
a guy.
Jimmy.
Yeah, what a
big up
guy.
Jimmy. Big up Toogs. Big up
Trimmy
Oz, big up all-
Cheeseman.
Trimmy Cheeseman.
Cheeseman.
Yeah, so I knew Jimmy. So I actually got chatting to Jimmy in the courtyard at Sauce Bar after I'd been DJing, saying, "Jim, I'm learning barbering," because I knew Jim cut my hair a few times previously. He's like, "Why don't you come work with us? Like, let me speak to Oz, and like, I'm sure he'll like take you on." So I was like, "All right, I'll keep an eye on that then."
Yeah.
And I had a message with Oz. I was like, "Look, I'm learning barbering. Like, I'm interested in sort of helping out around the shop, getting my foot in the door. So watching you guys, helping you guys run the business and stuff like that." He's like, "Yeah." So I basically was the Saturday boy, just sweeping up hair, answering the phone, doing the coffee run, a little bitch boy. Everyone has
You
to
gotta
start.
do it,
you have to
yeah.
start
Everyone
somewhere,
has to start at the bottom of the
It's
food
like Josh
chain.
now for us.
Yeah, he just started at the bottom of the food chain, but yeah, it was it helped that I knew Jimmy, so it was already, I knew that I wasn't just coming somewhere where I didn't know anyone. It was like quite overwhelming. But yeah, and then Oz took me on, and then 3.5, nearly 4 years later, here we are.
There you are.
Here we are.
Yeah, no, it's I've always when I lived in Medway, like the environment that Ozzy had created was always such a welcoming environment.
Yeah.
So I've always enjoyed coming to Sinners, and I wish him and all of you lot like nothing but success with this business, because you're just such great people anyway.
I think what people like about it is it's not like your sort of normal traditional barbershop.
No.
Like most people that come in, it's like a massive chinwag. Like we get everyone involved, all the customers, all the barbers, we all get involved, stuck in the conversation. Normally, maybe not on a Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. But we normally have beers and stuff like that. And it is like it's just like a nice family sort of environment. And that's what I think brings a lot of people back as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, the haircuts have to be good as well. But I think
they always are.
I think the atmosphere also creates such a better experience for everyone.
Definitely, yeah.
No, absolutely. And I remember when I did live like up in this one, I used to go to the Gillingham shop all the time. I used to be gone for like 2-3 hours sometimes. My missus would be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like
Something that should take less than an hour.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know, like I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a. I always have found the barbers a really good place for me to unwind. Like,
It's a safe sanctuary for a lot of men.
100%.
Because it's not that women don't come into the barbershop, because we do get women in the barbershop, but I think for blokes it's like their safe space.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Like what happens in the barbershop stays in the barbershop.
Yeah, you can often find, like I always say, like a barber almost becomes like a therapist as well.
Mate,
like,
honestly, you want to... I mean, I won't, because it's...
confidentiality.
Client confidentiality. But some of the stuff that people tell you is ridiculous, because it's like you're a neutral party.
Yeah.
There's no judgment.
Yeah.
You can let your deepest, darkest secrets out, and there's going to be no judgment. There's going to be nothing spoken about it after this appointment's finished. And I think for that, like a lot of people really do let themselves be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that is I love it because it's very rewarding. Not just because the job itself is great, but it feels like you really help people on a day-to-day basis.
100%.
And that's more rewarding than any kind of like financial gain. Definitely.
No, 100%. Like I know with like my barber back in Whitstable now, like me and him will talk very openly with each other about anything, and I think like men do need that like safe space to be able to talk, and I think barbershops you probably find barbershops probably one of the like best places for men to do that. There's not many other places really that men do just go and just be amongst each other to be able to talk openly about those sort of things. So,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I know you can go out for a drink with your mates and stuff like that, but I feel like it's very difficult to open up to your closest ones because there's almost like a stigma that they have some sort of judgment, whereas a neutral party like a barber who you see once a month or once every couple of months or whatever, they're not going to judge you. They're not going to speak about it after. They're not going to go, oh, you never guess like what so and so's done. Like there's nothing about that at all, and I think that's quite warming for a lot of people.
And going out for a drink like with the boys, there's often a larger group of you where coming to a barber's is more of an intimate environment as well, so it can often just be one-on-one. Like, and
it's like that 45 minutes to an hour appointment is just solely me and you. Yeah. There's no other distractions. Alright, you'll probably have Jimmy doing some crazy dancing in the corner. But apart from that, it is just literally, it's almost like tunnel vision. It's just used to, and I think, like you said, people do find that very, very warming and very, very comforting.
Absolutely, and like going from that, so being the barber, being the therapist, do you find that as lads amongst each other, as barbers, you can talk to each other, or do you find yourself just being the therapist?
So with I'm more open with the boys I work with than my customers, unless it's my close friends as clients. I suppose there's a very, very select few that I can essentially open up to client wise, but the boys at the shop, it's like a brotherhood. So if you can always tell, like if someone's having a bad day, because we all kind of have each other's back. Yeah. If if I'm having a bad day, someone will go and get me a coffee. Yeah. Just small little things like that, or like there's just like little things that we will do that we don't. I'm trying to think of the right way to put it. We don't pressure one another to speak, but like if you do want to speak, then we got your back. And I think that's really important as well, because you can sort of peer pressure people into speaking and they really don't want to, they're not comfortable with it. Whereas the guys at the shop, like I've been through some stuff, Jim's been through stuff, we've all been through some stuff, but it's like if we want to talk about it, we can, but like 9 times out of 10,
if you don't feel up for it, don't worry about it.
A lot of the time we just throw ourselves into our work as well. Where we're normally busy throughout the day, that's a good distraction if we're feeling like shit. So it is good, but the boys there are golden. Like,
no, that's good.
All of them, they're really like they've helped me through some stuff as well.
Yeah, no, it's good that you can all obviously be able to talk to each other like openly and have each other's backs, because like moving through into it, like you have obviously been through like such a traumatic experience. It's inspiring really how you're still, I know. We'll get straight into, obviously you was really good friends with Molly McLaren, who was like really like sadly murdered in Chatham, and you were best friends. And it was obviously very sudden and tragic. And you say the boys have really helped you like through that.
I mean the thing is, all this had happened prior to me joining Sinners, but they knew of what had happened and knew what I'd kind of gone through, so they never pressured me into speaking about it, whereas as time went on, obviously I grew stronger from it, and then the boys, we can all talk about it quite openly now, especially like with Mollyfest. Like the boys came, not this year, the last Mollyfest that we'd done before lockdown, all the boys came, and it was a fucking great day. Like we had Jimmy on someone's shoulders dancing to some ska band. It was class, but like they loved it, and I think they saw from that day how important she was to me, and that's important to them, and I fucking love that about them.
No, absolutely. How did like the pair of you meet? Like, how did you become so close?
Well, me and Molly? This must date back to when we was about 16. I think drunk at a New Year's Eve party. I think we both got really, really drunk, and I think we both passed out before midnight, and just sort of built a friendship from that. And then just over the years, just kind of progressed just being like really good friends. We used to go to the gym a lot. We'd go out most weekends. I'd go around hers for dinner. Same with my family. Like her family and my family, like we're all just one big family unit, and it's great. So yeah, even like after everything happened, like we still sort of see and speak to the parents and that. Yeah. It's nice. It's nice that even though whatever's happened is that we still consider them our family as well, which is really nice.
Touching on like the actual event, like where was you like at the time? Like was it?
I was at work because Moles had been going through some stuff with her ex, sort of with the stalking and sort of turning up to where she was and things like that.
Yeah.
And so we had like group chats where she was kind of keeping us updated with what she's doing, where she is, blah blah blah, just so that we're kind of aware of what's happening. I was at work. This was at about 10 o'clock in the morning. She'd messaged us in the group chat saying that she was at the gym, and that he'd shown up, and we was like, what the fuck? Like, that's a bit weird. So we was just like, look, keep your distance. Like, report it to someone. Just basically keep your distance. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. And I just remember not hearing from her for a while, and we was all a bit concerned. So we sort of put in the group chat like, are you okay, blah blah blah, nothing, didn't hear anything, messages them privately, nothing, and we was just like, right, this is getting a bit weird now. And then it wasn't until I think it was about 11ish, 12ish, things started getting fed through via social media that something had happened at Dockside, and we was like, that's weird, like Moles was at Dockside. Then there was an incident with a blonde girl at Dockside. Of course, then we're like, what the fuck? This is getting a bit weird now.
One of those that you don't want to believe that it's her, but you knew.
It was just, it's one of those things where you start piecing it together and you're like, no, this isn't happening.
Yeah, police isn't happening.
And then it was when, I think there was an article on like Kent Online where it was a man in a white vest had attacked a blonde girl, and he was wearing a white vest because she basically took a picture of him like working out next to her. And of course, like my heart just sunk at that point. And then it wasn't until a little bit after that things started coming through, like someone's been stabbed and shit. And it was like, oh my god. I mean, as soon as all of it started coming through, like I left. I basically went to my boss. I was like, I've got to go. I've got to go. I went and picked up my friend Mitch because he was coming back from London, I think. Picked him up from the station, and then we went down to Dockside. And it was all like police tape was everywhere, like they weren't letting anyone through. And we was like, look, I just need to see if like my friend's here, if she's all right. And then we saw her car, a little Citroen, and also saw the blood on like the windows and shit. And yeah, that was fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's such a, like you say, you never expect something like that to happen to.
It's the sort of thing that you hear about, especially in like America, somewhere fucked up like that. You hear about it and you just never ever think that's going to happen to you. And yeah, it was, traumatising, absolutely traumatising.
I mean, I obviously didn't know her. Like I knew people that knew her, because obviously growing up in Medway of a similar age, you're going to know
everyone in Medway.
Everyone knows everyone in Medway.
It's a big place, but it's not a big place.
And it was quite clear, like the amount of people that she'd impacted, like after it had happened. This
is the thing. Like, I even spoke to other people, people like you said, people that didn't know her but feel like they did know her.
Yeah.
Through the impact that she'd had on a lot of people's lives, and even people seeing things from afar. Just how important she was to the people around her, and then obviously how much of a big impact that she made on communities as well. I mean, I've never seen a community like Gravesham, Medway, even Kent, come together quite like when Molly passed away. It was insane. Like the amount of flowers and tributes that were at Dockside, the amount of people that came to the funeral was absolutely overwhelming. It was, but it was really heartwarming as well, because that's just how much of an impact she had on so many people. Yeah. And that just goes to show you how much of an amazing girl she was. Yeah, no, you can see that from, obviously, every year you do the Molly Fest. Yeah. Who started to arrange that? I think it was her mum and dad and other people within like that sort of group, because we do Molly Fest every year in and around her birthday. So her birthday is the 26th of May, so we do it around that weekend every year. So like next year, I think it's the day after, 27th falls on. But it's just it's a big birthday party. Yeah. Lots of tequila, live music, bands. Our dust off my headphones and play a little
Yeah.
disco set as well. But it's just it's a day of remembering of just how and it's normally a really, really beautiful day as well. And it's just it's just to sort of reiterate just how beautiful she was as a person inside and out. And there's nothing but smiles that day as well. And it's
it's exactly what you want on a day like that.
It is, and it's a bittersweet day. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, of course.
We're all there for her, and it's such a lovely day. But at the same time, we shouldn't have to be doing this because of what happened.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it is a really, really good day.
Yeah, no, I see. Like photos of Molly Fest, and is it her parents set up a foundation?
Yeah,
as
it's
well?
the Molly McLaren Foundation. So
what does that all go towards?
So that basically is Molly suffered with eating disorders.
Right.
So the Molly McLaren Foundation was set up to help people suffering with eating disorders. Sorry. So I don't know the ins and outs of it all, but every year, so the money that we raise with Molly Fest and other charitable donations that other people raise money for throughout the year, that money goes towards funding, helping people. Basically, it gets shipped off to, I don't know where it goes to, like what companies or what places it helps, but it's to help people with eating disorders.
Yeah, no, that's
I think they've helped a fair few people already, so that's always good news.
Yeah, it's amazing,
and I think that's probably like for Molly's parents, like being able to help others through that.
I think it's good for them to be able to focus their energy onto something positive, because, like I said, I can't imagine how they must be feeling every single day. But the fact that, especially with Molly Fest, they can focus on something, they can channel any kind of negativity and put it towards something positive. And I think that's a good outlook to have on life, especially.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, because, like I said, like being able to help others through such a tragic event will, like you said, will just keep your mind occupied. Was she an only child, or did she have brothers?
No, she had an older brother, Tom and Alicia. Alicia's his now wife, actually. So Tom was living in, is it Stoke? I think Alicia's from. He was away when it all happened. I think Doug was away when it all happened as well. So everyone seemed to be scattered all over the place. It's crazy.
It's a thing, like, you just would never expect something like that to happen, like, especially in, like, even in a Medway town, like, we've never seen anything like that.
I suppose you hear about this sort of stuff in, like, London, but you never ever think it's going to happen on your doorstep, especially to someone that you know.
So close,
Yeah, man. Yes. But it's one of those things where it's like, you'll never get over it. You just have to learn to live with it.
So after it all happened, I mean, obviously the grieving. You take as long as obviously you need to grieve for any loss. But how did you find a way to deal with something like that?
With me, when it all happened, my grieving was very delayed. I didn't really start properly grieving for about 2 years. Those first 2 years, I was more focused on the rest of the gang in my group. I was more focused on making sure that they're all right, seeing to their needs, making sure that they're fine. And it's like you put others before your own needs until eventually, like 2 years later down the line, that I kind of hit breaking point.
Yeah.
And that was when I really sunk into a really dark place.
Yeah.
Not dark as in suicidal or anything like that, but just really, really, like, probably the worst place I've ever been.
Just struggling day to day with just life.
Yeah. Literally getting out of bed was a chore. I literally had no drive, and like I said, all of that combined with the job that I really didn't like as well. Yeah, fucking hated it every single day.
So, did you just have to remind yourself of the conversation that she put you through, saying like you need to start figuring out what you?
Yeah, I mean the thing is, like I said, my grieving was delayed. It wasn't until 2 years that, like I said, I came out and I said to my mum, I was like, Mum, I'm not okay. Like that was a big thing for me, because I've always, and it's the same sort of stigma around blokes, is we try to say that we're not. Yeah. We're fine. I'm fine. I'm just tired. Yeah. Like, It's the classic one. But I couldn't do it anymore. And I literally turned around and said, I literally broke down. I was like, I'm not right. I need help. I need to talk. I need something. Yeah. I went through a couple of sessions of counselling, and then I got referred to Sinclair and Strong, I think it is, based up in Kings Hill, West Malling. Saw a lovely lady called Jackie, and she took me through the process of EMDR.
Right.
Have you ever heard of that?
No.
EMDR is, I think is it cognitive behavioural therapy?
Yeah.
Basically, it's where an example is like it pans from left to right. So you have headphones, and then I had these two little handheld devices which vibrate simultaneously with the headphones. So it basically goes whoop, 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 whoop. What you do is you get yourself comfy. You go to your safe place, essentially. And this, it's very hard to describe, because if I was to describe it, I'd sound like I'm absolutely nuts. Like it's a bit like, like when like hypnotherapy sort of thing. It basically is how you channel your anxiety to go to your deepest, darkest place and have control over it.
Right.
How to basically say, look, I'm stronger than this. I can do this. So I'd be sat there in a little beanbag, have my headphones in, eyes shut, and she would say, what's the darkest point? And mine would be when I saw the car with the blood. That was my worst part.
Yeah.
And I'd go back to that, and then she would say, what do you see? What do you feel? How are you feeling? And then kind of almost coach you through that. And you can use it day to day. Like I still use it every now and then if I'm feeling a little bit. Because you can do it just by tapping, things like that. It's very hard to describe, but it's so beneficial.
Really?
I cannot recommend that to anyone. If you're ever going through any sort of anxiety, anything like that, EMDR it saved me.
Wow.
And it helped me, and it helped two of the others in our group as well.
Did you all go to the same place?
Yeah, I recommend, because I was the first person to actually get help, because like I said, I couldn't do it. And then not success, but coming out of that, I felt 10 times better. I felt like a new person.
Yeah.
My friends seeing that, how I came out of that, almost encouraged them to go and get that sort of help as well.
Was there many other like men within that friendship circle? Was it a lot of
Mainly girls. There was me, Mitch, Sean, and Lewis. So yeah, not many at all.
Yeah. And how did they deal with it in a similar way to you?
To be honest, no. I think I love them to bits, but especially my friend Mitch, I feel like he needs to get some help. But he's a strong-minded individual, and you can't tell him. So he knows that we've always got his back if he needs help. But some people just don't want to be helped. So if he can get through it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like I said,
you always just want the best for people. That's
exactly.
All it is,
like I hate seeing my friends down and sad. And like I said, I know what it's like. I know how it feels to be in that situation. So if my experiences can help others, then so be it.
No, I get what you mean. Like trying to get somebody to, like, if somebody, like, I probably would be like similar. You probably would be as well. To be fair, that if we were being recommended something, we'd be like, no, we don't need that.
Yeah.
Don't need it. Like we just battle through.
Yeah.
But that's not the right thing to do most of the time. Like if you need to get help, you need to get help. But it's accepting you need to get help and then getting the help.
Like I said, there is such a stigma around men and us putting on a brave face and being all tough.
Yeah.
Like we're only human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We have feelings too.
Yeah.
Like, we hurt just as much as anyone else does.
Yeah.
But why is there such a stigma that we have to act tough?
Yeah.
Like men cry.
Yeah.
Like get over it. Like
100%.
It happens. Like we feel the same emotions that every other person, females do.
Yeah.
Well. But like it's this whole act tough. Like no, just if you're hurt, admit it.
Yeah.
And if you
own it. Yeah.
And own it. Own your pain, because honestly that's really tough to do, is admitting that you're hurt and you're struggling. But once you do that, you have control over it.
Yeah.
You have control over it.
Yeah, no, definitely, yes. And like you said, it worked so well for you. And I bet before you even went, you probably was optimistic.
Mate, I was absolutely shitting myself.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, you're essentially opening yourself up and being so vulnerable to someone you've never met in a room where you kind of feel like they might be judging you.
Yeah.
But weirdly, when I had my counselling, I felt so safe.
Yeah.
Because they were a neutral party and they had no involvement. They didn't know anything about me, didn't know anything about the situation apart from what I've told them. They were such a neutral party that they feel like there was no judgment, no cloud of judgment there at all.
Even though actually they're probably, in a good way, they are judging you to see
to analyse you.
To analyse you, yeah. So they're like really reading you, but they still make you
They're
feel safe.
they're reading you more than anyone has ever read you before. Yeah. It was. I was really, really scared because, like you said, at that time I didn't like touching on it. I didn't like speaking about it because I used to get quite worked up about it. Apart from like now, I'm at a point now where I can talk about it very openly.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was so scared of getting hurt again and reliving it because it was, like I said, it was traumatizing. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But going back, but then, like I said, opening up about it to a complete stranger just weirdly felt safe and quite welcoming.
You probably didn't want to, as well, but opening up to a stranger can be easier because you also don't want to put that onto people that you know. You don't want them to have to go through what you're going through up here.
Yeah.
Like, and having to, because I've always felt like if I was to open up to somebody, I feel like I would then be worrying them that they need to check in on me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's like, I suppose you probably almost feel like you're burdening them, essentially, but you don't feel like that with a therapist.
And also with your like close group of friends, where you were all going through the same traumatic experience, your trauma wasn't any worse than their trauma.
Yeah, it's almost like you're all going through the same thing, so it's like, why should you hurt more than me?
Yeah.
But
it's never a competition, but
No.
but I could see why, you want to talk to somebody that's going to be able to help you, but in that scenario, they're not going to be able to help you because they're going through exactly the same pain. They need help as well.
Yeah, and that was the thing with me is those 2 years after it happened, I was so focused on helping them, making sure that they're okay. Then actually during that time, I'm still really fucking hurting as well. And it wasn't until 2 years down the line of helping all the others that I realised, shit, I need help myself.
Yeah.
So it's it is one of those things where you put others' needs before your own, but sometimes you do need to think about number one, and that is yourself.
Yeah. Because we spoke on Instagram, it probably was like a year or a year and a half ago, maybe a bit more, that because I'd started journaling.
The Mind Journal.
Remember,
the Mind Journal. That got me through lockdown.
It did, yeah. So I tried it, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So I did put it to one side, but
it is quite tough because it's something that I don't know if you felt like it as well, but sometimes you feel like you're repeating yourself a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think I completed the 3 months of it.
Yeah.
I think I did about a month and a half, but it did really help when I did do it.
I always
What is it, sorry? Like mind journaling?
It was called
Mind Journal.
Yeah. And it was like every page. Oh, I just whacked my mic. Every page had like, I think it was like list 3 things like you're grateful for.
Yeah. Had like a massive list of like tick boxes of like how you feeling today. When's your golden hour? Or like when did you feel like at your highest point in the day?
Yeah.
3 things you're grateful for, and then it had like exercises as well. Didn't it?
And things like what's like some things you want to achieve and stuff like that. And I bought one like a little while ago, and to be honest, it sat there for months just gathering dust, and I was just looking at it like, we'll get around to it one day. Like, I just need to be in the right frame of mind to be able to do it. And then I started doing it, but I just couldn't keep up with it. Like, I wasn't sure if I needed to do it every day or.
I think it's something that you kind of do when you feel like you need to.
Yeah.
Because some people can't speak how they feel, so they journal.
Yeah.
Or like it's a bit like how people learn things. Some people learn by saying, watching, or doing.
Yeah.
And it's the same with like opening up. Some people might not want to talk about it, but they'd rather just jot it down on a piece of paper.
Yeah, because that way you don't have to verbally talk about things that you might not necessarily want to talk about.
A book's not going to judge you, is it?
No.
No, yeah.
You can just write in there, shut it away, put it in a top drawer, and then go back to it when you need it. But in the same sense, you almost feel like you've let it out.
It's a release, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a short release. But is there something that you reckon you could ever get into?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, it's probably something you've never even considered, is it?
Nah, I don't know. Like, I just.
Could be worth trying out. It doesn't take too long. It probably takes about. The thing is, the exercises you could spec. They had like about 3 or 4 pages. I mean, I think there was one day I tried writing through all of it. And I was like, I'm running out of things to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 20 minutes, half hour or so.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting to a point where I need something.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah. I mean, you've been going through some stuff recently, and I think.
I think you said that every podcast, didn't you?
Well, no.
You got a lot on, you're going through stuff.
No, but the things that you got going on aren't just things that are going to end in a week. Do you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, you have got things going on, like, and like we're saying, like, you was kind of looking forward to this episode as well, because we were going to talk to Alex about, or talk to you about, like, going into, like, did you throw yourself into the gym because of your mental health as well? Like, is that something that took you through there? And you know, there was always, because I knew that you journaled and stuff like that, so I knew the mental health side of this conversation was going to be, unfortunately, interesting, if that makes sense. There was going to be things that we might learn from this episode.
Yeah.
So, I mean, leading through onto that, I mean, because you threw yourself into the gym pretty hard.
Yeah.
Was that?
That was a combination of, one, my mental health.
Yeah.
Tired of being like chubby and like just looking like a thumb.
Yeah.
And also, and also,
get the thumbs up.
Back of my head.
And one of the biggest motivators was going through a breakup.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that.
Best kind of motivation you need.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it, but
Yeah.
but honestly, no. That was one of my biggest motivations, just from, because it was a great distraction.
Yeah.
Great distraction.
Yeah. I know when I scroll through TikTok and I say like breakups, and I go to the comments and see you in the gym, bro.
Honestly, like it's stereotypical, but it works. It fucking works. It's hard to describe, because I never would have seen myself as the gym guy.
Yeah.
Now I am the gym guy.
Yeah.
But it's something that you really do. It's cliche, but they say you never regret a workout. You release all those endorphins. You feel good after, and it is true. Like there's not one workout I've regretted.
Yeah.
Where afterwards you're like, fucking hell, yes, I've done something positive today. And when you work on yourself, there's no better feeling, because you feel like I'm on the road to improvement. I'm on like bettering yourself. There's no better feeling than bettering yourself. But yeah, no, the breakup was definitely the bigger motivation. But yeah, looking like a thumb did contribute to it as well.
I don't want to. I wasn't aware of that, so this is kind of like gonna sway some new questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I mean, is that quite recent?
Around Christmas time.
Because you were together quite a while. Am I wrong?
Yeah, about near 2.5 years.
So if your mental health was sort of on the rise, how did that?
I think it was just more me in general. Like, I wasn't happy with myself. It wasn't necessarily the relationship. I wasn't happy with myself. Like, you know, like when you don't like what you see in the mirror.
Yeah.
Just more that than anything. And I started going in the mornings before work.
Yeah.
Like, I still do. Like, it's the best way to start your day.
Yeah.
Best way to start your day. Yeah, it wasn't actually anything about the relationship why I went to the gym.
Yeah.
It was just more self-improvement.
Yeah.
But then obviously when we broke up, that was when I was like, right, I'm going to fucking
hit it hard. Yeah.
And then I got myself a coach. That was a very good investment as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Was it James Hood?
James Hood, big up James.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was class. Because I've been friends with James for a while, and we spoke a lot in lockdown about workouts, because I think I was running most days in lockdown. And he was like, "Oh, are you still training in?" Because I had very limited equipment during lockdown, like 2 kilo dumbbells and stuff like that. Can't really do anything. But he mentioned about coaching, and it wasn't until after I broke up with my ex that I actually said, "James, like, the time is now.
Yeah.
It's time. It's time." And he's like, "What do you want out of it?" I was like, because he's done, he trained for a bodybuilding competition just before lockdown. He was just at peak week pretty much, and then lockdown happened and it all got called off. So he had dieted, trained so hard, and then just all went to shit. And I basically said to him, "Look, I want to look half as good as you by the end of this." And I was like, "I want the breakup bod to be on point."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Say no more."
And that's what he got you
Say
to.
no more.
I mean, we popped the photo up in Nixie's episode, didn't we,
Yeah,
of your transformation, but maybe we'll pop it up again just for people that tune into this one.
I don't look like that now, though, mate. A lot has changed in 2 months. I've been
So with that like whole coaching stuff, do they get you to like was there an end goal of doing that? Like, because now you say, "Oh, well, I don't look like that now," but I mean, I'd say you were still in great shape.
It was more with the coaching, it was very strict. You were very, very disciplined.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm enjoying food a lot more, as I'm sure you've probably seen on a lot of my stories.
Yeah.
Whereas with a coach, it's like you report back. You have weekly check-ins. He deals with your macros, so like the amount of food that you're eating day in, day out. Changes that week in, week out. Adjusts it to because obviously we were trying to lose weight. If you're losing too little, then we sort of drop it down, X, Y, Z. Training plans, cardio plans, 24/7 support. If I was ever having a bad day, I can shoot him a message on WhatsApp, send him a voice note, he replies back within half hour. Yeah. So constant support. It's basically, it wasn't just a coach inside the gym, it was outside the gym as well.
Yeah.
And like I said, there was days when I had no motivation. I felt like shit. I'd had a bad day at work. I just wanted to go home and eat my body weight in chocolate, which is what I'm doing now. but he'd be on the other end of the phone saying, look, it's not going to be worth it. Like, all right, you'll get the short dopamine hit of the sugar, but you'll not cancel it
after.
Yeah, and you'll regret it after. So it's not even worth it. So it's being accountable for your actions. Yeah. And he helped me through some of those bad days, and he helped me push to get to where we got to in the end. Yeah. And he was class. Like, I can't recommend the coach to anyone. If someone's ever wanting to really get into shape, or like just change their outlook on fitness or something like that, get a coach. Honestly, because it's so easy to kind of go online and look at meal plans, training plans, stuff like that. They're not tailored to you. Like that's the best part about it. It's tailored to you. Like you work out your weight week in, week out, and it's adjusted week in, week out. So it's a very personalised plan. Whereas it's not a one size fits all, unfortunately, with something like that. Yeah,
of course.
But yeah, no, definitely recommend it.
Yeah, because I mean, we speak all the time, don't we, about we need to like start doing this, start doing that. I've just like signed back up to the gym, which I will start like from this week. I mean, I did actually have like off of the back of last week's episode, a PT did reach out and said that he would be interested in training me. Yeah. So I will probably take him up on that. But like for me, it's just motivation. I mean, I don't know if it's the same for you.
It's just time, isn't it? For me.
Yeah.
Then the thing is you've got to make time.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Like my work schedule, I'm 10 till 7, so that's a long day. Yeah. Last thing I want to do after a long day is go to the gym where it's really fucking busy. Yeah. So I go before work, and it starts your day off perfectly because you feel like you've accomplished something before 9 a.m. And you actually weirdly, all right, you're waking up a bit early, but you feel more awake afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, you've always struggled with like time around like the kids and stuff. Maybe like when Ezra's off to.
I have to go at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Come back because I live in Dartford.
The graveyard shift.
Yeah. Because I live in Dartford, so I have my little boy like 50% of the time. But he lives literally like round the corner in Raynham. So I like if I've got him, I have to drive like wake up at like 6, get him ready for school, drop him off to school, and then drive back down to Bluewater. So yeah, I could make time. It's just
you do have a very busy schedule. It's one of those, isn't it? It's just really trying to like make that
mindset
time
as well, like you said as well, like just being in that right frame of mind and knowing when. Because my body, like, it sounds stupid, like where I've been eating like a lot of shit lately. My body's now telling me,
brother.
But like my body's like telling me now, like you need to start. Like
you do. The thing is, you learn to listen to your body.
Yeah.
Like I think it was it was yesterday actually. I felt like shit. I mean, my hay fever's absolutely kicked me in the fucking balls this shit. Yeah. But like I was meant to train this, and I was like, do you know what? No, I'm not doing it. Like I feel like shit because there's no point in forcing it. Yeah. But yeah, it's almost like you have to listen to it. When your body's telling you need to have a break or you need to do this. It does it very subconsciously, but you do have to listen to it. It's so important.
Yours tells you through your arsehole.
Yeah, regularly.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I've always fluctuated with my weight. So yeah, I think now, like today, you wanted to get a beer. No, we've got to stick to the H2O.
No, I needed that.
We've just got to be like strict with ourselves. It's just discipline, get there.
Yeah.
But there's so many distractions. There's so many options around. The worst thing for me is when we work in a Jill shop. We've got that shop next door. They do such a good amount of snacks in there. Yeah. I could go in there and spend less than $5 but come out of a mountain. Yeah. And it's dangerous because
exactly what you mean. I used to pop in that shop before getting my hair cut because I'd always be like half an hour early. Pop in there, get a few snacks and a drink, sit in there, chat to the boys.
It's like what is it, $3 for £1 on Cheetos? I'm like, God, how can I turn down that offer?
Say no.
Yeah.
And obviously with your fucking Biscoff addiction.
Oh my God. I reckon if you was to cut me open, it'd just be pure biscuit. No, I'm controlling it a bit more now.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, even like so like my breakfast, I'd either have oats or I'd have cream of rice. Have you ever had that?
No.
It's a bit like an oats alternative. It looks like baby food when you make it, but it's easy to digest.
Right.
But they do Biscoff flavour of that. So I'm like, fucking hell, I'm having Biscoff for breakfast with a bit of salted caramel protein and then crushing a Biscoff. Like, it's just, but it's actually relatively healthy.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about it. So it's like guilt free.
Yeah.
I think it's like learning about food that really like is so important. Like, I just have like such a bad knowledge of food. I'm not like very.
But that's
creative.
what the coach helps you with as well.
Yeah.
Because I learn basically what fills me up and what I think fills me up but doesn't.
Yeah.
So like, it's about making like the right food choices and stuff. So like lower calorie but higher volume stuff. So like,
Right.
all right, a salad, boring as fuck. But when you add half a bag of salad to like your chicken and stuff like that, it's a very dense meal and it fills you up for longer. It's things like that. But you learn about nutrition, you learn about what your body wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's another good thing.
Yeah,
reason to
I
get
think
one.
like after I saw like that you'd had a coach, I did think, because for me, like especially right now, I'm thinking, well, I've got my stag do and I've got my wedding next year, like and like being the size I am, I need longer to get to where I would want to be. So
Stag
like,
do was a priority there, wasn't it? Stag do in the wedding, not the other way around.
I mean, there's 20 of us. Well, the thing is, yes, I would like to feel better about myself at the stag do because we're going to Marbella. Like, I don't want to be stood around like a pool party with a top on the whole time, like feeling conscious. But also, like my wedding photos will be there forever.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want to look back and regret it.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing worse than if I look back at those photos and I see that my suit doesn't fit me properly.
Yeah.
Or I'm worried about like what angles that the cameraman's getting me at. Like, I don't want to be worrying about things like that. So, but if I want to do something about it, I have to do it now.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just wait until next year.
How long is it until?
So the stag do is just under a year.
That's more than enough time.
Yeah, I mean,
More
you
than
say
enough
that, but
time.
like being the size I am,
You'd be surprised, George. Honestly,
Yeah.
mate. You would be
When
surprised.
I was at my biggest, my weight flushed off me like the first couple of weeks because of water retention and stuff like
Yeah.
that, isn't it? Like you'll lose most of your weight now.
I do think like a PT or I signed up to just a like pure gym.
Yeah.
Because I can go
Doesn't
to any.
doesn't thing is it doesn't matter of the gym. It's what you do in the gym.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and I think I will take this PT up on because he said he can advise me like what to be doing and stuff like that. We had like quite a long conversation today, so
Well, it's like they say, it's 30% gym, 70% diet.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
yeah,
That is the really hard part.
Yeah.
The amount of times that I turned down so many treats and so many like nights out, like beers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that when I was on that plan, I had one drink,
really,
and that was on my birthday. Well, I say one drink, one day of drinking.
yeah,
But that was the only time that I drank in 3 months.
yeah,
So and like now I don't even. I think I've had two days this year where I've had a drink and that's it.
To be honest, I feel like I could probably give up alcohol quite easily.
Because that's a big one. Beer.
yeah.
Beer.
I do enjoy a beer. Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
Oh, I love a beer after golf.
yeah, I do. Yeah, is that your thing?
Goes hand in hand.
Yeah, no, I feel like I could like jack that in quite easy. Like, but if it's there, like, I'll just have it for the sake of it. So yeah, I think that's something that I could cut out. But for me, it's just shit food, chocolate, sweets. Like,
The problem
anything like
the problem
fast
is
food.
that the bad foods per se is always so much cheaper and easily accessible
Yeah.
than healthier stuff. So like pack of 5 donuts from Morrison's is like £1.
Yeah.
Whereas a pack of apples, Pink Lady apples, is like £3.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna choose.
Yeah,
Right.
you never see the in Tesco's the club card offers on a
No,
box
no.
of watermelon chunks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But they'll be trying to sell me a pack of 5 crunchies for
I
a pound.
fucking love my club card. That's the best thing I think I ever got with that club
Yeah,
card. So good.
it is. No, those club card offers are good, but it's dangerous. It's dangerous for a fatty.
Because it's always the
Yeah.
treats that they put on the
Yeah.
club card offers. So it's like £3.50 or club card, £1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Well,
know
I'll
if
buy 3 of them.
I don't know if you've seen that. I think it's a tweet about club cards where it's like, "Oh, you have a club card? That'll be £1. In fact, actually, no. Here's the money. In fact, no. Take all of this. Well, let's give it to you for free and take
Yeah.
all the money in the cash register."
Literally, they do just throw shit at you.
But it's clever because you want to go back there and spend more.
Yeah,
Smart how they do
it
it.
is smart. It's smart. I've got literally Tesco on my doorstep.
over there.
living there,
They're
yeah.
fucking everywhere.
Ugh, I know. It's one of them like mega ones as well. So you can
big-
spend hours in there.
Big Bertha.
Yeah. I'll come out with fucking like women's trousers just for the sake of it being on a club card offer. But no, it's I think the gym is definitely saying. We said, didn't we, that we'll try and we'd like to do like a mental health fundraiser at some point.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Whatever we decide to do, we don't know yet, but it will be something physically enduring for us.
Why don't you do like Tough Mudder or something like that?
Yeah, we thought about maybe like a Snowden or something like that as
That'd be
well.
good.
I did that years ago.
What's the other one? You got is it the Three Peaks?
Yeah, I don't think we're quite capable of 3 peaks just yet.
I
But
think I'd be alright.
Yeah,
It's just
no, but you can start. You can start off and then aim towards it. So you could essentially do one every year.
yeah,
Work towards it.
yeah, we could do.
yeah, I think it's more just like what we do to raise that money than
Yeah.
rather than
Why do you like a skydive or something like that?
oh fuck that no way.
I'd love to
I'd
do that.
fucking love to do a
I would
skydive.
love to
No
do
way.
that.
I'd
Yeah,
absolutely love that.
yeah, I'd be all over that.
Have you ever
Do
done
it
a
then.
have you ever done a
No, I
bungee
don't
jump?
think.
Yeah,
I
we
don't think there'd probably be like a weight limit on it.
Absolutely not.
Let's give me
No.
2 parachutes.
Yeah.
No, don't be silly.
Just strap it to one to each arm.
I remember doing a bungee jump. That was good.
Yeah,
That was at Hideout in Croatia.
yeah, I bet that was good.
Yeah, not when you're pissed though.
Yeah, yeah, no, fuck. Actually, yeah, fuck that.
And it dunks your head in the sea as well.
Oh yeah, nah.
Sobers you up
I
immediately.
think I'd be more scared of doing a bungee jump than like a skydive.
Mm,
Why wouldn't you do it?
Or jump out of a fucking plane with a
Yeah.
chute. Like, but no, absolutely not.
You know, if someone's strapped to your back.
Nah, mate, nah. I wouldn't do that for love nor money.
no, but then
Why?
there's a backup shoot as well. So if the first one doesn't go off, there's a backup.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that woman that fell out of a plane and like, she fucking a parachute didn't go off and she survived? It was
What?
like 10,000 feet, in America.
Wow. No, I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know
she
that.
jumped out of a plane, yeah. But even then, I'm not gonna fucking take that chance. Like,
Yeah.
even if I jump out, I'm not.
10,000 feet, you still survive.
Yeah, no, absolutely
What
not.
about 35,000 feet?
Yeah.
10,000 feet and not. I'm guessing she must have broken.
Yeah, she broke a few bones and
Yeah.
what but yeah, like she survived. Yeah.
She's a bit mangled.
Imagine that though. You'd just be like just chilling and suddenly some fucking woman just goes.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Would you try and like?
What, catch her?
Yeah.
No, fucking, I'll be running the other way. I'm not taking a face for some other old bird, like, do you know what I mean? No way.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we'll do
No.
something. I'm just not jumping out of a plane.
I reckon Tough Mudder would be a good one. I wouldn't say do anything like London Marathon because no one likes running really, do they?
No, I don't even like walking around. London.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Yeah, we'll do something eventually, but
Well, let me know. I'll join you.
there we go. We've got another addition to our fundraiser.
I'll have a backpack full of Biscoff.
Yeah.
I'll just be going around feeding everyone. Come on, you need some sugar.
Yeah.
Just straight out of the jar with a spoon.
Oh, you know you can get like those beer helmets with the straws. Just have liquid
Pure
Biscoff like that.
Biscoff, yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
Like honey, like fucking.
We could be onto a money making idea here.
Love it. But no, I think that's a nice, cheerful way to. We've got a few questions just to add on to the end of the podcast. But I think, thank you for opening up so much and
No, you're welcome,
being
man.
so vulnerable.
I hope
podcast.
my experiences can encourage others to get help if they do need it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like you said, there is a stigma around blokes
Yeah.
being all tough, but it really is okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
And I think everyone really needs to remember that.
No, definitely, and just from us at the Average Joe's podcast, we do send our love to Molly's family.
Thanks, guys. I love that.
And thank you for coming on and telling your story and just explaining to us just how amazing of a person that she was and how influential she was to
You're welcome.
everybody that knew her. So thank you for doing that for us.
You're welcome.
But we'll jump into some questions. One that we haven't got them written down. Do you remember any of the ones we used to ask? If you want to fire one off.
Oh, fucking hell, stick it all on me now. I've been here quiet all like the last 40 minutes. I've been fucking dead silent. I told you, I can't
Gotta
really
bring
commit
you
to this
in.
one. Yeah,
Just bring in a
Like
question.
tag team.
yeah, literally.
Oh my god, JR.
I think one of them was like, I fucking fly. What was a song that means a lot to you and why? Fucking fly.
What's a song that means a lot to me and why? There's quite a lot. I would probably say anything Wham related, probably Club Tropicana by Wham, because it always just reminds me of my mum.
Yeah.
It was like she grew up. I grew up listening to my mum's music and my dad's music. My mum would listen to 80s Wham, Queen, people like that. My dad would listen to heavy metal, Metallica and people like that. So you can imagine growing up, my music genre was so diverse.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely Club Tropicana. Like we had a Wham 80s themed party for my mum's 50th.
Oh, lovely.
Just because she fucking loves Wham.
Yeah.
And every time I hear any Wham song, especially Club Tropicana, it just always makes me think of my mum.
Makes you think of your mum. That's nice. One question as well that we like to ask people is, what is one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
Ooh, my younger self. Same size head as well. I've not actually grown into this head. It's just been this big my whole life. Piece of advice I'd give to my younger self. Take chances. Take risks. Don't be scared to do it. You got one life, just fucking live it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. There's no such thing as a mistake in life. There's lessons. Just take the risk. Like I said, I wish I'd got into barbering sooner than I did. I know everything happens at the right time and everything happens for a reason, but I wish I'd got into it sooner. So I'd probably tell my younger self, take risks, take more risks.
No, that's spot on. Absolutely spot on. And then the last one we'll ask you is, would you rather more money or more time?
Time. Like, the thought of ever losing my parents, my family, my friends, I would never want that. No amount of money in the world could ever get those memories back. Like, especially with Molly as well. No amount of money in the world could ever replace like the memories that I have with her. So if I could have more time, definitely, I'd choose time. Definitely.
Yeah.
Money comes and goes.
Time doesn't.
Time doesn't.
No, that's great. That's a really good answer. I think it's a great way to round up the podcast. So, again, thank you.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Again, thank you, Ozzy, for letting us use your shop.
Big up the Sinners boys.
Yeah. Big shout out to the Sinners boys. Great bunch of lads. And again, we wish you nothing but the utmost success.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, I think that's
likewise.
anything else from you, Harry?
Nah, all good, mate.
Brilliant. Thank you again.
Cheers, guys.
Signing out.
Cheers, mate.